What's going on, Patronijects? It's Greg Alba here.
And it's John over here.
So we're going to do movie news of the week today. The top stories of the week. Only got 4 here that actually caught my interest. Yeah, there's not really much this week, to be honest. None of these are that too exciting. And
Man, you gotta have a slow week every once in a while.
slow week every once in a while. You know, E3's coming out, so
Yeah.
probably don't want to unveil too much movie news.
Yeah, with all those video games swooping in.
Oh yeah,
Taking the thunder away.
my passion right there.
Yeah.
Can't wait for all those trailer requests to come in for that one.
Catch us on Twitch.
All right, so let's just hop right into this.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad 2. I bet you guys didn't expect this news to come out of the gate.
Boy.
You know, DCU has a lot of films slated, not many release dates for many of them. But here we go. Joel Kinnaman, the main star of Suicide Squad 2. The one that everyone remembers. I bet even if you don't know the comics, but you've seen the movie, you at least know his name.
No, Joel Kinnaman.
I know his character's name.
Rick Flag.
Rick Flag, yep, that's the one. He's a standout performance, he says.
Pretty good.
In some interview. As far as I know, they're writing the script, and I think the plan is to shoot it sometime in 2018. But that could change. I think I'll definitely come back for it. Ultimately, I'd love for David Ayer to direct it, but if he doesn't want to direct it, then someone who is great with character, that's able to ground the story, and maybe put these characters in a more normal situation, pretty much saying whatever David Ayer said. It'd be really interesting to see these crazy characters interact with regular people as well. Boy, wouldn't that have been a great idea for Suicide Squad 1?
Yeah, learn from our mistakes. Why don't we? Hey, I don't know, maybe that's inspiring information, though, because it's June now. They'll at least have 6 months to work on this script.
Yeah, as opposed to 6 weeks, so they got plenty of time to get this script in development. Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about the potentials for Suicide Squad 2 on this channel and the many different ways you could do it. The main thing is what he's saying right here. Just make it a more normal situation.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't have to save the world. They don't need to do that. Just make it a more normal situation. And I don't know, I'm not really excited that Joel Kinnaman's talking about this.
Yeah,
who gave a shit about your character in this movie?
I'm not particularly excited either. I don't know, I feel like the one kind of nice-ish thing that we've learned from DC is, you know, these ships can correct their courses. So while I'm not overly optimistic for a Suicide Squad 2, I'm not champing at the bit to get these characters back in a room together. I'm like, they could fix it, and I like that they're at least planning to go ahead instead of doing the Spider-Man thing and just restarting the game every time you fall off that skateboard.
They made to reboot it. They made like so much freaking money.
Yeah. And I'm glad that they're not gonna do that.
As long as it makes bank, you got a sequel in mind.
Yeah.
It's just how studios work. If it makes money, and that's what they care about. Real quick. Oh yeah, Mike, just making sure the mic was on. Are you moving forward to the next story?
Oh, do we got more to talk about Suicide Squad 2?
Yeah, because I'm wondering,
Oh.
you know, with a lot of times when one movie works, like Wonder Woman really worked. Wonder Woman really worked. So if Wonder Woman worked, that means there's someone at the studio. There's at least one person in there going, we got to do all of our future installments now.
Just like that.
Just like Wonder Woman. And they're going to ruin it.
We're going to take the Suicide Squad back to World War I.
Yeah. They're going to do something. There's someone there who's going to say that. Someone there. But, I mean, what I like of the idea of Suicide Squad, too, because, I mean, when you see, like, the Marvel franchise going, it's like we saw Guardians 2 this year, we saw the trailers for Thor Ragnarok and Black Panther, and there's something that seems kind of similar about the way all of them are. And I don't feel like you need to do that with the DCEU. I don't feel like it needs to fall under that category, especially with Suicide Squad. Out of all, I mean, if you start doing that with all your heroes in your solo films, maybe I could get more on board with that. However, when it comes to Suicide Squad, no, just make it different. I mean, that's one thing you got to give credit to for the first one. It's different.
Yeah,
definitely. It's weird.
That's part of the charm, and I think especially for DC, it would help them all the more to differentiate themselves. Have this franchise that's free to be. The point of Suicide Squad is to be edgy.
Yeah, because if they want to shoot this in 2018, what I'm saying is, whoever that one person is saying we got to make it like Wonder Woman, I don't think you got to do that. You can still make it a good movie and make it different than Wonder Woman.
Suicide Squad 2 is all about love.
Yeah, it's all about heroism.
Compassion. People really struggling. Man, we're just fighting for the people, right?
Hey,
Hey.
Let's move on to the next story.
Speaking of sequels, my darling, guess what? The Dark Universe. They got a whole bunch of them planned.
Yeah, I love when they throw a franchise in my face.
I love when they get off to a shaky start and they're like, we're not stopping there. We got 5 more of these up our sleeves.
Yeah, Alex Kurtzman, here's what he says, speaking of fandom. We know we're going to do Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Phantom of the Opera, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and The Invisible Man.
Wow!
And I hope Russell Crowe is in all of them.
All of them take place at Prodigium.
Yeah, let's hope that stays consistent, because that was the best thing about it. We just put up our review for The Mummy, non-spoiler and spoiler review. You can catch our thoughts on that. Oh boy, it's a lot of movies. It's a lot of worry.
We addressed this in the review for the new film The Mummy, out in theaters now, and I don't think this machine cannot be corrected in any way. You know, like I said, we were talking about Suicide Squad just now. I believe that you can take feedback and make some positive changes.
Totally.
However, I really wish these people could focus on one movie at a time.
Well, Chris Morgan is one of the main people guiding the guiding forces are Alex Kurtzman and Chris Morgan. And Chris Morgan, well, he did the 4th Fast and Furious. He's done all the other Fast and Furiouses, and he helped. He was greatly involved in course correction for the Fast and Furious franchise.
Okay.
You know, I'm not sure if he's still the right guy to be doing.
I don't think the course correcting for that series will work for this series, but sure, if he's good at that. Who
knows? Maybe it will.
I'm not gonna say that's that guy's only capable idea.
Yeah, I mean, my work. Who knows? I just hope that Alex Kurtzman and I'm sure they have a lot of plans already. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they got a lot of notes written down of what they want to do, because they already started casting people for all these roles. I just really hope that they go, maybe we should slow down a little bit and maybe, like rethink how we did The Mummy, because now you added more than what was announced.
Yeah.
Creature from the Black Lagoon, which was hinted at in The Mummy.
In the movie, yeah.
And that's a neat hint, because one humps.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
When, in spoiler alert, for The Mummy, for your Black Lagoon tease, when they're walking through, what's it called? Vagina?
Vagina.
Yeah, they're walking through S.H.I.E.L.D., and you see the Lagoon Hand.
Yeah.
And then everyone being you and me, shouting in the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah.
Why are we the only people excited to see that monster?
Yeah. But it was already in like a specimen jar.
Severed, in fact.
Right.
As though the creature is...
So if they do a Creature from the Black Lagoon, it might be a film that takes place before present day, which could be cool.
Or he'll have a hook hand.
It's about him trying to retrieve his hand.
He's got to need my hand.
Movie.
That magic hand is the source of all my powers.
And they got other characters here. Phantom, Hunchback, who are not part of the OG Monsterverse, right? The OG Monsterverse is Frank, Wolf, Drek.
I mean...
And I'm missing someone. Bride. Invisible Man.
I mean, yeah, I feel like the originals are sort of like, Frankenstein and the Mummy and the Wolfman. And then you branch out and you've got the Creature and the Mummy. and or what did I say? Whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Phantom and
Hunchback
are monsters, but they're not part of the OG.
I mean, they are. They made those movies. They made
At the
like
same
an
time.
old school with Lon Chaney.
I'm talking about like the original crossovers. I could.
Oh
be
yeah,
wrong. Yeah.
they're all Universal monster movies. I don't know if they ever crossed over with anybody.
Yeah,
If they ever...
well, you should have just called this the Universal Monsters. You don't need to call it the Dark Universe.
Or
Because
yeah,
especially if you're not honoring Dark and this whole thingamajig you got going on here.
See, I'm conflicted about calling, because like now I'm kind of cool that they didn't call it the Universal Monsters, because what I saw yesterday wasn't really a Universal Monster movie, at least completely.
Yeah, fair.
So sure, that looks like the Dark Universe, I guess, but
I just think these would be cooler period piece films instead
Definitely.
of modern day films.
definitely.
It's like if you do a modern day Hunchback of Notre Dame, what the hell is that gonna be?
What? Yeah, or a modern day Phantom.
What
Seems
part
like
is-
it would be
if
tricky.
They would just piss off friends. Like, we don't treat hunchbacks like that in
Not
Friends
now.
today.
Yeah, this would be a major issue pretty fast. Like, this guy just gonna live in the top of a bell tower too. Like, you know, nobody notices. Like now,
With all the
nowadays,
security cameras inside that church.
in a modern world.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Let's just hope that they make some course correction immediately.
Yeah.
Because boy, do they need it. Because, you know, like when you look at other franchises, that's universes that have been launched officially, you know, Godzilla was great. He did what Gareth Evans?
Mm-hmm.
He did what Alex Kurtzman said
No,
he was going to do.
Edwards.
Edwards, right. Evans is right.
Yeah.
He did what Alex Kurtzman said he would do for The Mummy. And he made a great solo film that had no concern with universe building. That was cool. And then DCEU launched it with Man of Steel. And while it wasn't the greatest thing on the planet, it was still good enough to be like, yeah, I'm on board.
I'll watch another.
I'll watch more DC films. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm totally here for
It's
that.
a kind of a different take.
This is the first franchise universe launch where I'm like, very worried.
Guys.
Very worried. I don't know how much more of these I can handle if they're all going to be like this. Yeah.
You do understand that these are like your flagship classics, right?
Yeah.
Like, you do understand the implications of that. Like, yeah, I kind of pretty much agree with everything you just said. Like, I don't really see what bringing these things to modern day, where we've got computers and cell phones and crazy advanced guns and things. Like, I don't see it.
I think the Hunchback should be all CGI. And like he should be a giant with an exceptionally big hunchback.
Just remake King
Yeah.
Kong, but with a hunchback.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm
Instead of
talking
the
about.
Empire State Building, it's just a church tower.
And
Perfect.
you know, Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man. He's Johnny Depp. You're gonna want to see him. You can't just hear him. So I hope that most of the film he is Visible Man and not invisible, because marketing matters.
That's the thing,
And,
man.
I hope Bride of Frankenstein is Angelina Jolie and that she's sexy and not scary.
Yeah, sexy, independent,
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
You know.
And I hope Dracula's a strong, hard PG-13 vampire flick.
Just like this is the weirdest universe I've had to comprehend in a long time, because especially in the lead up to The Mummy, they have thrown out so many
Yeah.
different concepts and so many different ideas and so many different takes, like so many different versions of their own take on what this is supposed to be. So yeah, like I'm just kind of clenching right now reading this information, thinking
boy.
it could work, but I just feel like it's a very tall order.
I mean, I'd love to see this. Like reading this quote, I'd love to see all those monsters. Just not what I'm seeing now.
Yeah.
So on our extended movie news segment on the Patreon, we were covering Neil Blomkamp, this article, this interview he did about Chappie. But we want to put on the YouTube as well as Neil Blomkamp tagged us in something.
Tweeted us!
Stephen Blomkamp said at his brother, I
Is it
love
his
these
brother?
guys' faces, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Or it's his father.
Son.
I love these guys' faces while they watch your trailer. And it was our Oats Studio reaction. And Neil Blomkamp said, aha, awesome, at the Real Rejects. And yay.
Yeah.
Here's the little photo
Kind
for
of
you
cool.
guys.
It's kind of a cool moment.
Alright, Reject Nation, thanks for tuning in to our weekly movie news of the week segment. We give you the top stories, the things that we thought were the top of the week. Not what other people think are top These are our top.
Chappie!
Yeah, that's not in this one.
Not in this video.
Anyway, you can subscribe to The Real Rejects. Click that notification bell. John Humphrey on Twitter and Instagram. Social media manager of Blumhouse.com. And you could check out our full movie news segment, like the 45 or whatever, how long it is, version
6 to 8 business days
of the movie news. On top of that, a bunch of exclusive perks and content on our Patreon. Go over there, check it out. Have a great day. And I'm not a gamer, but I know a lot of you are going to be sending in game requests. And then when I honor the request, there will be plenty of comments going, why are you reacting to this if you're not a gamer? What the hell's your deal? Well, I'm doing it because people asked. And so then it's going to create a crossroads in my life between comments and you guys and me. But hey, let's see what happens.